The story of your life is written in a language you've forgotten how to read. It's inscribed in the curve of your spine, the tension in your jaw, and the way you hold your shoulders on a stressful day. By the end of this, you will understand how to read that language, how your body keeps a perfect record of every emotional event you've ever lived through. And that chronic ache you've learned to ignore? It might be an argument from a decade ago still waiting for you to finish it. Your posture is a biography written in tissue. Look around any office. You can see the story. There's the executive, back rigid, shoulders pinned back. A posture of control, of readiness. It's a physical declaration of authority, held so long it has become structure. His body is braced for the next challenge, the next confrontation, the next quarter's results. He's been holding that posture since his first promotion. Now it holds him. You can also see the chronically stressed employee, shoulders hunched forward, chest caved in slightly. This is a posture of defense, a subconscious attempt to protect the heart, to make oneself a smaller target. It's the physical residue of feeling overwhelmed, undervalued, or constantly criticized. Each tense email, each passive-aggressive meeting adds another millimeter to that curve. This process is called muscle armoring. When your brain perceives a threat, whether it's a physical danger or an emotional attack, it tells your muscles to contract, to brace for impact. This is a brilliant survival instinct. The problem starts when the threat is constant and low grade. The critical boss, the tense home life, the unending financial worry. The brain keeps sending the brace signal and the muscles obey. They tighten. Over weeks, months, and years, that temporary contraction becomes a permanent state of being. The armor becomes a cage. Your body literally reshapes itself around your emotional history. A life of grief can lead to a permanently collapsed chest, as if carrying a physical weight. A history of feeling startled or unsafe can create rock-hard tension in the neck and shoulders, the body forever scanning the horizon for danger. These are patterns of survival, frozen in time. They were once useful, they kept you safe, now they just cause pain. But this goes deeper than just muscle memory from bad habits. It's a far more sophisticated and primal recording system. So how exactly does a muscle remember an argument? And why can't you just stretch it away? To understand that, you need to look at the nervous system's emergency protocols. We all know about fight or flight. A threat appears, adrenaline floods the system, and your body prepares to either attack or run. It's a state of high-energy mobilization. But there is a third response, one that is far more ancient and profound. It's the freeze response. Think of the deer in the headlights. It goes utterly still, motionless. This is a life-saving maneuver. For prey animals, freezing can make a predator lose interest or fail to notice them. Physiologically, the body slams on the brakes. The heart rate and breathing slow dramatically. The muscles lock rigid. Pain-numbing endorphins are released. The animal dissociates, preparing for the worst while hoping the threat passes. Humans have this exact same circuitry when a person experiences something overwhelming. An accident, an attack, a moment of profound emotional shock. The fight or flight system can get bypassed entirely, triggering this deep freeze. The energy that was mobilized for action has nowhere to go. It gets trapped. The body prepares to run, to scream, to push away, but it can't, so it locks down. That immense charge of survival energy gets stored in the tissues. The instruction to run is still active, but held in check by the instruction to freeze. You can feel this in miniature. The moment you get bad news, your breath catches, your stomach clenches, your body freezes for a split second. Now, imagine that feeling stretched out over years. This frozen energy tends to collect in specific areas. The psoas, a deep core muscle connecting your spine to your legs, is famously called the muscle of the soul. It's one of the first to contract in a fight-or-flight response, preparing you to sprint. When that action is thwarted, the psoas can remain chronically tight, leading to mysterious lower back pain and a feeling of being perpetually on edge. The jaw muscles, the masseters, clench to hold back a scream or an angry word. This can lead to TMJ, headaches, and neck pain. The shoulders and neck brace to protect the vulnerable throat. The body holds the shape of the thing it survived. And because the survival response never got the all-clear signal, the posture of that moment becomes the posture of a lifetime. The body is still waiting for the danger to pass. But what does this trapped energy actually do to the living tissue? A chronically tight muscle is one thing. The reality is far more pervasive. It changes the very fabric of your body. Your entire body is wrapped in a web of connective tissue called fascia. Imagine a thin, cling film-like substance that surrounds every muscle, bone, nerve, and organ. It's a continuous, three-dimensional matrix that holds you together. For a long time, science dismissed it as simple packing material. We now know it's a sophisticated communication network, rich with more nerve endings than almost any other tissue. It's a sensory organ. Your fascia is where the physical and emotional self meet. In a healthy, relaxed state, the ground substance of fascia is fluid and gelatinous, allowing muscles to glide smoothly over one another. It's hydrated and flexible. When the body goes into a chronic stress or freeze response, this changes. The chemical environment becomes more acidic, the fascia dehydrates, it thickens, gets sticky, and can even become hard and brittle. It's like your body is building an internal cast. It's creating a literal shield of hardened tissue around areas it perceives as vulnerable. This is the source of those deep, unyielding knots that massage can barely touch. They are areas where the fascial web has become tangled and solidified, locking muscle fibers into a state of permanent contraction. This creates a physical record. The tissue itself now holds the pattern of the trauma. You can try to talk yourself into relaxing. You can try to think your way out of anxiety, but you're arguing with your own biology. Your brain might say, "I am safe," but the hardened, constricted fascia is sending a constant, screaming signal back to the brain that says, "We are under siege." Take a moment right now. Notice your own body. Is your jaw clenched? Let it go. Are your shoulders creeping up toward your ears? Drop them. Are you holding your breath? Exhale. That subtle, unconscious tension is the language we're talking about. It's the baseline hum of a nervous system that is adapted to a certain level of threat. Over time, that hum becomes so normal you stop noticing it. It just becomes you. It becomes your posture. It becomes your chronic pain. It becomes your personality. But this explains the physical architecture of the problem. How does this physical state translate back into an emotional one? How can a knot in your shoulder trigger a wave of sadness or a spike of anxiety for no apparent reason? The answer lies in a two-way communication system between your body and your brain. We are obsessed with the idea of top-down control, mind over matter. We believe our conscious thoughts dictate our physical experience. The reality is that the traffic going the other way, from the body up to the brain, is vastly more powerful and voluminous. This sense of your body's internal state is called interoception. It's your brain's constant, real-time map of your inner world, your heart rate, your breathing, your gut sensations, your muscle tension. The main information highway for this traffic is the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is a massive cranial nerve that wanders from the brainstem down through the chest, connecting to the heart, lungs, and digestive tract. It is the primary channel through which the body tells the brain whether it is safe or in danger. When parts of your body are locked in armored patterns of fascial restriction and muscle tension, they are sending a constant stream of alarm signals up the vagus nerve. Your tight shoulders are whispering, "Threat." Your clenched gut is shouting, "Danger." Your brain receives these signals. It doesn't know they are echoes of an event from 10 years ago. It interprets them as happening right now. The brain, being a meaning-making machine, then has to create a story to explain this feeling of visceral threat. It generates thoughts of anxiety. It scans the environment for what might be wrong. It produces a feeling of free-floating dread, a sense of impending doom that seems to come from nowhere. You are living inside a physiological echo. You can't think your way out of it because the feeling isn't being generated by your thoughts. Your thoughts are being generated by the feeling. This creates a devastating feedback loop. The body's memory of threat keeps the brain in a state of alarm. The alarmed brain then tells the body to stay braced for danger, and the loop tightens. Skeptics might hear all this and label it pseudoscience, and they'd have a point if this was just about releasing bad energy. But the mechanism is physiological and neurological. You are changing the baseline signaling of your vagus nerve. You are altering the hydration and physical properties of your fascial tissue. You are providing the brain with new updated sensory information from the body that says, the threat is over, we are safe now. This is not mystical. This is biology, approached from the bottom up. This feedback loop can feel like a prison, a life sentence of anxiety and chronic pain. But if the body can learn to be in a state of threat, it can also learn to be in a state of safety. So how do you break the cycle? You have to interrupt the conversation at the level of the body. You have to speak its language, the language of sensation. This is the domain of somatic or body-based practices. The goal is to create a felt sense of safety in the present moment that is strong enough to override the old alarm signals. This is a process of renegotiation. It involves gently bringing awareness to the armored parts of the body. You learn to notice the tension without judgment. You simply listen to the story it's holding. Instead of aggressively stretching a tight muscle, which the body can perceive as an attack, you learn to soften around it, to breathe into it. You invite it to release rather than forcing it. When the body feels safe enough, it can finally complete the survival responses that were interrupted. This can manifest in surprising ways. You might experience involuntary shaking or trembling as the trapped energy in the nervous system finally discharges. You might feel a sudden rush of heat or a deep, shuddering breath. Emotions that were frozen along with the body, fear, grief, rage, may surface to be felt and processed. The body is finally finishing the story. It's letting go of a burden it has carried for years. Each time you help a tense muscle to gently let go, you are sending a new message up the vagus nerve to your brain. A message of safety, a message of release, a message that the war is over. Slowly, painstakingly, you are rewriting the score. You are teaching your nervous system that it is safe to come out of its defensive crouch. You are updating the body's biography with a new chapter. Your body is an archive. The aches and pains are not your enemies. They are catalog entries pointing to stories that need to be heard. They are messages of profound loyalty. Your body did exactly what it needed to do to get you through something impossible. It froze. It braced. It armored up, and it held on for dear life. It kept the score because that was the only way to survive. The beautiful part is, it also holds the key to your freedom. It remembers safety just as profoundly as it remembers threat. The capacity for ease, for flow, for pleasure is still there, buried beneath the armor. Your posture is a question asked by your past. Your next breath is the beginning of the answer. And the same mechanism, this process of writing memory into tissue, explains why every new physical skill feels so alien at first. Because your body is carving new pathways, literally writing a different future into its own hardware.